Hey, good afternoon. It's November 5th, 2025. It's time for some gratitude. I have to show you something because it really excites me, and I'm going to be right back. And you're going to laugh. It's going to be worth it. But I'm so grateful for today because I've been making pamphlets for SotaSoDak. I have these pamphlets that are our ebook. You can be able to go online and you can go to Amazon and you can download our ebook, but I also have a bunch of them printed out. And so if you ever see me or if you ever see any of these ebooks, check them out. I'm so excited. It's so much fun. Like, I have way more than just this, but I have these ebooks that tell the story of who we are, what we're doing, and where we're going. And it's such a joy to be on a good mission. And when I talk about gratitude today, I want to talk about a good mission. I'm not talking about going and just, I'm going to go to work and I'm going to go say, and I'm going to do good enough to not get fired. I'm talking about a mission that's actually worth living for your life. When I talk about a good mission, we want to think about God. I want to think about what God tells us. We want to think about what the larger mission of what we can create working together. Being able to think about that expansion, that creation, that expansion, and that growth. That creation, expansion, and growth is what God's about. We think about God being a creator, being able to go and to create things. I make art, I have organizations, I have fellowship. That fellowship, that art, that organization is such an important part of a good life. It's how we are able to go and do really cool things. I'm excited today because I had friends of mine over that were installing some equipment that I need to be able to be successful. They're helping me to be able to go and grow what it is that we do. And it's such a joy to go from, I feel sometimes like I was like in the Stone Age, and now I'm more in like the modern age. And I'm able to be more effective with what I do. But this period of time of being able to be in that growth and that expansion is a beautiful thing. I'm grateful for conversations. I've had many good conversations today. I've had many good meetings. I have many good conversations getting started. And through those dialogues, we're able to create positive outcomes for our communities. We're able to create good things. We're able to go do good things. I'm excited because I'm going to go to an event tonight. I love going to events. I'm going to an event, and it's a sale, but it's kind of it's for networking. It's go hang out. I really like the place I'm going to. I like the people that are involved with it. And it's fun because it gives you something to be able to look forward to. It gives you these positive things to think about. I'm grateful for the over 2-hour conversation I had on the phone last night. I'm grateful for my brothers. We're going to call it that. It's brothers and sisters. I'm grateful for my buddy who I'm on the phone with, who I'm having conversations with, who I'm hearing about the challenges, the growth, and the opportunity in his life. And it is such a precious thing. It's such a beautiful thing to be a part of, is to be able to share, to be able to be a part of that journey, to be able to be someone who can go, and we've been working together for almost 4 years. And I think about where we were when we started and where we are now. And it's so gratifying to hear a young man talking maturely about the complexity, about the challenges, about the reality that he deals with. It is such an honor to be a part of that journey, to be part of that discussion, and to be able to share that. When I think about gratitude, I always bring up goals. And I bring up goals because oftentimes I'll ask people, what are your goals in life? What do you want to accomplish? What are we doing? Why are we here? Why are we here? Well, we're here to be able to fulfill a purpose in life. We're here to be able to accomplish something great. We're here to be able to create an amazing world. We're here to be able to grow and expand and develop and grow individually, as communities, as states, as nations, as the world. When we learn how to work together, when we learn how to work in a collaborative and effective manner, we're able to do so many great things. We're able to go and we're going to be able to set out, develop plans, execute on them, and then to be able to see further growth and expansion from these efforts. So if we collaborate, if we're effective, if we're growing, we can be able to make something amazing happen. Oftentimes you get this contrast. You have people that are empty inside. And it's really easy to spot somebody that's empty inside once you have the eyes and the mind to be able to see it. The empty inside, what it looks like, they're not happy. They attack. They don't discuss ideas. There's a closed mind. I'll talk to anybody. I enjoy talking to anybody. I like having the collaboration, the conversation, the development that comes from having good, interesting discussions about things. But you'll have these people where they go, oh, well, you're this, you're that. We don't care. We're just shut off. Nope, we're not interested. That's great. I view that as one of the better things that I see when I come across it, because I know that's not somebody I'm going to invest any time in. It's okay. You have to attack. You have to be ugly. You have to be miserable. We get it. This, you're not happy. Whatever state people are in, and if you look at successful people on a consistent basis, success wants to see more success. To be able to understand what success is, how it works, how we can be able to grow, how we can be able to develop, and what a really great society looks like. Misery? It loves company. There is a meme of Nick Saban, and he is a very successful coach. I believe it was college football. I'm not an expert on all the sports. But Nick Saban would say, mediocre people don't like successful people. And successful people don't like mediocre people. This, for a miserable person, seeing somebody happy is a deep personal attack, because they don't know how to do that. They don't know how to be able to be happy. They want to be stuck, and they want to be able to be around all the other frowny faces. Oh, frowny face, frowny face, frowny face. It's their choice. It's their life. When you meet people, you want to analyze who are they and what are they doing. Now, the beautiful thing, and I mean this genuinely, the truly beautiful thing about the miserable people is that they can become successful, happy people. They can be able to change. We can all change. I pray for change. Pray for me to continue to change, to continue to develop. But to change, you want to find gratitude. When I think about gratitude today, I'm grateful for waking up. I'm grateful for waking up in prayer. That was really nice. I'm grateful for force multipliers. And I'm grateful for the concept, and this is a Stanley McChrystal concept, but it's called a team of teams. And what that means is that you create organizations that have a structure that's predictable and it's understood. One of the structures that I'm currently in the process of implementing is called EOS. It's an Entrepreneurial Operating System. And what it does is it allows me to have an organization, an organization, an organization. All of my organizations have the same mission, which is to inspire excellence. But it can be able to allow us to be able to tie together uncommon language, culture, and values. So is that we can be able to have the same culture, language, values, the same culture, language, values across organizations, even though they might have explicitly different missions. I have some organizations that are faith-based, that are really there to be able to share the gospel of Jesus Christ, to be able to help people along their road, to be able to say, hey, look, I understand you might deal with a world that seems challenging to you, but understand that there's people here that love you and that God loves you. And so we have the faith-based organizations. That's where it's going first. So we're implementing EOS first. But then we have these secular organizations. They're not explicitly faith-based. Of course, everything I'm involved in is faith-based, but it's what it is. But these other organizations have the capacity, through their culture, language, and values, to be able to do tremendous good in the world, to be able to change the trajectory of lives. We have a state right now that we're in as a culture where people just view themselves as enemies. There's not a dialogue. And it fascinates me because there's not a dialogue. It's just, you're this, you're that, I hate you. Okay, well, how are you going to fix that? When we read about John Gottman, and he's a relationship therapist, they did a bunch of analysis of different relationships. He talked about how you need to have 5 positive interactions for every 1 negative. And so this Gottman concept was, he was analyzing marriages, and he was analyzing marriages that succeeded, and he was analyzing marriages that failed. But when we look at a society, when we look at a group of people, we really want to have those 5 positive interactions instead of more negative. And it's fascinating to me. It's fascinating when we look at our media and what our news and what our different organizations focus on, because they really love the negative. The negative sticks in the human mind, but it misses the ability to find effective collaboration. Our world has more prosperity than it's ever had before. We have more people living, we have more people existing. When we think about that existence, there's certain truths that we look at where we can be able to see and look at and understand things like the benefits of free enterprise, the benefits of having language, culture, and values that match up, the benefits of having understanding, of having a shared vision of the future. And you have this shared vision where you can work, and you can be able to build, and you can be able to develop, and you can be able to create, and you can do something really wonderful. But that shared vision doesn't work if all you're focused on is negativity. If you find that gratitude, if you find that moment where you say, hey, I'm grateful for waking up today. I'm grateful for waking up in prayer. I'm grateful for force multipliers. I'm grateful for the team of teams concepts. I'm grateful for a delicious meal. I just had pig slaughtered. I think I mentioned it a couple weeks ago. So I had a pig slaughtered. I got an entire pig. And I've been doing this 1 meal a day thing, which it's just funny to me because I like to eat food and I enjoy food, but I've been eating 1 meal a day. And when I eat 1 meal a day, it gives me this opportunity to be able to go and not really worry about anything else. I read that it's good for you. I read that fasting is good for you. We're going to find out if it works. But I didn't plan it. I didn't go think about it cognitively and decide I'm going to do it. I sat there and I decided, look, I was just eating what's normal for me. And so I have this 1 meal a day concept. And with this 1 meal a day concept, it's funny because I had some pork, and I had some cottage cheese, and I had some spaghetti squash, and it was delicious. But I'm so grateful for how good that meal tastes when I only eat 1 meal a day. When I only eat 1 meal a day, the food matters more. The taste matters more. The appreciation of it matters more. And so that's something to really think about, is what are you appreciating? If you're always in a time of plenty, if you're always consuming something that you enjoy, it stops mattering. It stops being something that's enjoyable. It is the contrast between the positive and the negative that really makes a difference, that grows, that expands, that helps you. When I think about gratitude today, I'm grateful for my vision. When I think about vision, I wear glasses a lot of the time, and I don't really need them for distance. So when I drive, I don't wear them. but I wear glasses a lot. And I think about what lenses we're using. What's your lens? What framework are you looking at the world through? Are you looking at the world through the lens that I'm a child of God, that I'm loved by God, that I'm in a world of brothers and sisters who are loved by God as well? And we want to build and create and develop something amazing. Are you looking at it through the lens of, I am so much better than everybody else? Look at me, I'm up here, everybody else is down here. We don't care about these people. If you're in that space, I would challenge you to think about, we can work together. We can be on the same team. If we're all together, we can build great things. If you're way up there and you're so much better and so much more capable and so much this and so much that, well then guess what? There's not a lot of space to work together. We're not going to accomplish much. You might be successful in the short term, but in the long term, it's as a team that we can build something amazing. When I think about vision, I think about gratitude. And yes, I write that a lot. I'm sure at some point someone will count every time I say gratitude, and you'll be able to go, he said gratitude 100 million times in his lifetime. He said gratitude so many times. He talked about gratitude. Maybe this time I'm going to start writing gratitude. And I'm saying it from your perspective, because it's nice. It's like watching the football game and saying, oh, I got a good workout. You didn't get a good workout. You have to do it. But when we think about vision, a good vision comes from gratitude. It comes from being aware of being really genuinely appreciative of where you are in life and what you're doing. I think a good vision comes from silent contemplation. Of going and putting the time and energy in to be able to step back and evaluate your life and develop your life and think about your life. That silent contemplation is so important. And it happens for me. It happens when I work. Over the last 7, 8 years, I've been working in the construction industry. I've been building. I've worked on nuclear power plants. I've worked on a variety of energy facilities. I've worked on fossil fuel. I've worked on hydroelectric. I've worked on a bunch of different power plants. I've worked on food and agricultural facilities. I've worked on this variety of very interesting, very fun places to be able to work on. And during work, I get ideas. And I would journal to be able to get more of this silent contemplation, to be able to develop my vision of what the world looks like. It's why I do what I do. I think a lot of times people will look from the outside and they'll be like, Gary, you have savings. Why are you spending your savings to be able to develop what you're doing? Gary, you do this. Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? It's because I have a vision, because I know what I'm doing. I pray about it. God makes my way. When you think about vision, we think about our fellowship. Who are we associating with? I see this as one of the central important elements of life, is who do you associate with? How do you spend time with them? What is the interaction like? What are you doing? With people that I know people from all sorts of different backgrounds. I know people from all sorts of different perspectives, and I'm friends with them, and I like being friends with them. There's people I agree with, there's people I don't agree with. But the thing is that through having that fellowship, it talks about how iron sharpens iron. How it is the process of working together that creates and molds who you are and who you become. This process is critical. This iron sharpening iron gives us the capacity to be able to grow, develop, and execute grand plans. I think of a friend of mine who I've been working with for many, many months now. And we've been working to be able to develop and run SotaSoDak. And it's such an honor to know him. It's such an honor to have the space, the conversation, the development, the growth that comes from our dialogue, from being able to go and have this fellowship where there's phone calls, there's emails, there's conversation. We talk about challenges that we've overcome. And it's such an honor to be with somebody who has such awareness, such a sense of what they want to do, who's got a heart for service and greatness. This young man's virtuous. He's positive. And I get inspired. I was talking yesterday about inspiration, but I get inspired at a very deep level, working with people that have that same commitment, that same mission, that same desire to be able to see a growing and better society where we have opportunities. When I think about vision, I think about what challenges are we facing? As a group, what are the challenges? Mental health. That's a big challenge. That's a challenge I have experience with. I can talk about that. I can be able to help people with that. I am grateful for being able to help people with that because that help means that my trials were not in vain. It means that my struggle, the difficulty, the times where I didn't think I would survive weren't in vain because I can be able to use my voice and I can share my experience, strength, and hope. Hope. See if I can spell hope. H-O-P-E. There we go. But I can share my experience, strength, and hope, and I can be able to share with other people, hey, just because this is where you're at right now doesn't mean it's where you have to stay. When I think about challenges in our society, being able to get people opportunities. Living in South Dakota, we're a rural area. There's not a ton of resources. Oftentimes, there's a great gulf between locations. There's a great distance. It can be very challenging. When we have that great gulf, we want to be able to make sure that the opportunities serve the people in the direct communities around them. They help us to be able to grow, to be able to develop, because work gives us purpose. And for people that are in challenging trajectories, that might be dealing with these mental health challenges, this work and purpose can be able to give you a pathway. These pathways are so much of what I've dedicated my life to. I think about the benefit of going and getting a good construction job. I think about the life that enables. I think about the prosperity. I think about the benefits. I think about the good that comes from that. Of being able to tie my success to good, meaningful work, to repairing nuclear power plants, to repairing and developing facilities that work in general industry that make things like anti-seize, to be able to go and to be able to work in agricultural processing facilities, to install machinery, and to develop something truly great. This work and purpose is what genuinely matters. Because if we can be able to give people that are challenged, that are struggling, a work and purpose, we can create something truly amazing. With that, this is a good point for us to quit. I am way too busy today. I'm grateful for how busy I am. I prayed to be this busy. But I want to thank you for watching this program. I want to thank you for being a part of this program. We want to think about what we're developing as a society, what we're developing as a world, how we can work together to be able to create positive outcomes for every one of us, to be able to give that understanding that work allows you to have purpose, meaning, growth, that you can be able to get educated, that you can be able to grow. With that, God bless you and live with legendary excellence.